You are streaming CBS Sports HQ, and we are your exclusive home for the Naismith Awards, honoring the best players and coaches in college basketball. Over the next 3 days, we'll be announcing the winners in 3 categories: Player of the Year, Head Coach of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year. Today, we focus on the last one I just mentioned. Here are the finalists for Women's Defensive Player of the Year.
Freshman forward Aaliyah Boston exudes a maturity that destroys preconceived notions of age and ability. At 17, Boston started her NCAA career with the first college debut triple-double in Division I history. And her season never slowed down. She led the Gamecocks in rebounding and blocked shots. She also set South Carolina's freshman record for double-doubles and offensive rebounds.
Swatted away and blocked by Aaliyah Boston.
Boston was named the SEC Defensive Player of the Year and SEC Freshman of the Year. All that's left for this 18-year-old is the national recognition her season and stats suggest she deserves. Arizona junior Aari McDonald is a gamer. She has to be. The 5'6" point guard has built her career on pushing the limit, taking risks, and imposing her will. McDonald is an all-around player who makes her presence known. But it's her defensive grit that sets her apart.
Stripped away by McDonald, trying to beat 3 Bruins down, and she's off the glass to score it.
This year, McDonald took home the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year honor. The first time for a Wildcat since 2011. The only thing missing for this junior is her name etched on the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year trophy. To get by junior DiDi Richards, you need 2 things: determination and luck. Her style, outwork everybody. Her game face rests only when she lets out flashes of flair, following her signature blocks and steals. She's the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, and she led Baylor, who ranked first in the nation for defensive field goal percentage this season. One of the best perimeter defenders in women's college basketball today, she's built herself into one of the most talented defensive minds in the game, making her a decisive finalist for this year's Naismith Defensive Player of the Year Award. The story of Kylie Shook's senior season is the culmination of her 4 years as a Cardinal. The recipe to her success is simple: keep improving. Her 86 blocks this season led the ACC and are the most in Louisville's single-season history.
Shook swatted to the ground, spiked it out of bounds. Forces the shot up, blocked out of bounds by Shook.
She became the first Louisville player to be named Conference Defensive Player of the Year in more than a decade and earned spots on the All-ACC defensive team and first-team All-ACC. And this was her final chance to solidify her name and leave a lasting legacy in women's college basketball.
And so congratulations to DiDi Richards out of Baylor to come out and win the award for Women's Defensive Player of the Award. And, of course, she joins Christine Anigwe, who won it with Cal last year, now playing in the WNBA for the Dallas Wings. Also another person playing in the league. Tiara McCowan at Mississippi State won the first award in 2018. All right, let's welcome in this year's winner, 2020 Women's Defensive Player of the Year, DiDi Richards, wearing her Baylor swag. I certainly enjoy that. DiDi, you're starting to rack up multiple awards. It's kind of getting old hat for you. How does it feel to win this one?
It feels good. It's kind of like a sign of relief. I can kind of breathe now. Like, whew, that was the last one. I did it, you know.
When you look at it, obviously you're winning Defensive Player of the Year award. I think here I have a stat. There's so many good ones, but 26% shooting from the field against your defenders, and you can guard all 4 positions. And a lot of highlights that we're looking at now, perimeter type stuff. But what do you enjoy most about your game defensively?
I just enjoy the fact that, you know, defense has nothing to do with skill. It's kind of just a want to do it and like have the effort to do it. So I think that shows, you know, my determination on the basketball court.
Baylor looking to go back-to-back, and for obvious reasons, that's not going to be a possibility this year. But in addition to your defensive skills, you had to handle the rock a lot this season. Your assist-to-turnover ratio was top 5 in the nation. How proud of you with that?
So proud. I just wanted to be able to show them this year that I could, deliver the ball and, participate on the offensive end more than I did last year. So I was happy that I was able to do that by delivering the ball to my post players.
DiDi, certainly appreciate the time. Congratulations and best of luck in the future. Hopefully we'll be able to get to basketball sooner rather than later. Thank you. Julianne Viani over the phone, CBS Sports college basketball analyst. And Julianne, what do we think about DiDi Richards winning this award? Obviously some tremendous finalists. She was in competition with some great talent here, but ultimately the Lady Bear comes out on top.
Well, I just heard what Gary was talking about regarding team defense. And hey, Richards is on one of the best defensive teams in the nation as well in the Baylor Lady Bears. I mean, this is a team that held teams to 31% shooting, and she personally held her players to 26% field goal percentage. So being on such a great defensive team, it certainly helps a lot because it is a unit. And listen, she's one of the best defenders in the nation for sure, and she's such a complete player, very versatile. She deserves this award. I mean, when you get down to the top 5 players in this type of category, you can't necessarily go wrong, but her reputation for being one of the nation's top on-ball defenders gave her the WBCA national honor and also now the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year award. And, that's the kind of player that you expect to see get it. Defense is really about determination and intensity, and she embodies that. Very high IQ player, too. And I think that it's going to translate into the next level as well.
Before I let you go, I'll finish with this question that I asked her. Is just obviously with the Naismith Defensive Player of the Award, this now being the 3rd year. When you look at awards, and now we have an award for this side of the ball, how big is it to have a player be able to strive for an award like this one?
It's incredible because you look at her numbers, and she wasn't the highest scoring player on that list. And I always say I love defensive players because it sounds cliche, defense wins championships, but this is a defending national champs here, and it's because of their defense that they win. And I love this award because you don't have to be the high-scoring player on the team to get it. It's about toughness. It's a toughness award. It's an intensity award. It's a teamwork award. And so you can always work on your defense, because I remember going in as a freshman and my coach saying, hey, you're a defensive liability. You won't be on the court until you learn how to defend. And I became one of the better defenders on the team. So you can really work on that side of the ball. You don't always have a natural knack to score, but this to me is a toughness and a determination award. And so I love that this is an award because these are the awards that win you a championship.
Julianne, thank you so much for joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. Be safe and be well.